Second Nature for Children is in the house. Coach, how you doing?
Always, man. I'm great. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing absolutely great. As the family come in, I don't know if YouTube sending the notifications out when we do it. So make sure you hit the notification. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, so we can move this content. I always tell you, the algorithm of YouTube is not going to move a positive message because it's not entertainment or gossip. So as a people, we have to move it. And then I challenge you to find one person that, hey, will subscribe. We almost said 500. Let's put it at 500. But the problem is going to be, this going to be a problem. And I know it's going to be a problem. You find the one person that that'll subscribe to something positive. I know that's a problem trying to find us as a people, but we got to keep working. We got to do it. So make sure that you come in, you like, you subscribe, you share. Find one person that will subscribe and share and like and begin to come in and get this information with us. And if you ever have any comments, make sure you hit the comment section. Let me know if you need my help. Always, there's my email address. You need to see the work that I do with the children. There's my website, got a new website, and I'll make sure that if it hits you hard, your compassion jump into play. Cash App, help us with our organization and help us with our children. Do that for me, family. So, Coach, I know I had sent you a little something else that I wanted to talk about, but I had this discussion with a young man during the course of the week. So, I don't know how many other people have this question in mind, but he was asking me about the purpose of life.
Mm-hmm.
He was asking me about the purpose of life. So I know about a year or so I did a video on it, but I definitely want to touch back on it because it was a very interesting conversation. And so I want to talk to you about, here's the purpose of the Black journey. Here's our purpose. Here is our purpose. Now, when you think about the purpose of life, people can give their different perspective on what they think the purpose of life is, because it's only something that one has in mind to do or aim or intention.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and your purpose in life, it can be selfish. It can be all about you. That
True,
if
true.
that's your purpose, then it can be all about you. But the problem is, and I want, as I say this line right here, I want everybody to get it as I move through this conversation. I want you to remember this right here. When we're talking about the purpose of life, if this what I want everybody to remember, if we are going to come together as a people for the betterment of ourselves and us as a people, we must be on the same team with the same purpose. Slow down and get that. And that purpose is to give or serve to help humanity. If anything gonna happen for us in the good, we have to be on the same purpose. There are many purposes that people have. You got people, but think about it for a second. We got to help each other. We should get it to the point where that's our purpose. Your career, your profession, if it doesn't do anything where you can either give or help somebody, and if that's your purpose, that's your purpose. But remember when I said, if we gonna come together, you got to be able to take that career, or you got to be able to take that profession, and you got to be able to give or serve for the betterment of humanity in some type of way. Because if you don't, then it's just a job. If it doesn't do anything to help someone other than yourself. So I want the family to think about that. We got to get on the same team. The purpose of life for the betterment of us together is to give and to serve. I want them to get that because everybody, like I say, you got different perspectives. I understand some perspectives are selfish, and that's fine. I got no problem with it. But like I said, I want to reiterate this again. If we are going to come together for the betterment of us as a people, we got to have the same purpose. Let's look at the religious groups. Let's take Christianity and Islam, and there are other religions, but let's just take those two for right now for the sake of this conversation. Combined, there are 4.6 billion followers of the two religions together. Just want you to think about that for a second. That's following what they call the Abrahamic religion. Can you imagine if that 4.6 billion could put religion aside and take heed to what the Bible and the Quran instruct them to do when it comes to giving and serving? Think about that for a second. It would instantly begin to change the world. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. Most Christians, and I'm talking about Christianity, with the largest religious followers as it's recorded, are not spiritually connected. So they are not taking heed to the Bible. They are only part of a religious group, tradition, custom, formality. Most do not understand the Bible. And the reason they don't understand it, one of the reasons, is because you can take one scripture and the different groups will interpret that scripture different. They will see it different. But some of it is so simple that the Bible speaks on giving and serving. So how can you tell me that you are part of a religious group and you're not living what that religion would require you to do? That's the problem we're having in the religion. Because you're telling me that you are a Christian. I just want to stay with Christians for a minute because I come from the Black Baptist Church. You're telling me that you are a Christian, but you were just caught up in the religious aspects of it, but you are not caught up in the spiritual aspects of it, where you are truly connected to that which you say you believe in, that immaterial part of yourself. And you're not taking the book serious because the book has requirements for you. And the book speaks very much of giving and serving. That's our purpose. I just want you to say, for us to win as a people, that's our purpose. Is how we could give and serve to help each other. Romans 12 and 10, the Bible says this right here. Be devoted to one another in love. That's what the Bible says. Be devoted to one in love. That's Romans 12 and 10. 1 Peter 4, 10 through 11, it says this right here. Each of you should, whatever gift you have, and whatever gift you have received, you should use it to serve others. That's your Bible. That's the problem that I have with the religious group of people, because there are instructions in the Bible that we're supposed to take heed to, that we're just caught up in custom and formality. And let me tell you this right here. Mark 10 and 45, Galatians 5 and 13, Ephesians 6, 7 through 8, Proverbs 19, 17, Acts 20, 35, Matthew 5, 16, Hebrews 6 and 10, Philippians 2 and 4, Acts 26, 6 through 7, Galatians 5 and 13. Listen, and I can go on and on and on. What the Bible says, and it's in the Quran as well, where you should be giving and serving. So that takes your selfish purpose away further as it being your main purpose of life. I'm talking about life because you're supposed to be following this religion that you are a part of. And right now, I'm just talking about the religious people. You are supposed to be following a religion, and it has hundreds of things in there. And I just gave you a couple of scriptures because I'm not going to go on and just kid you with scriptures, but it has given you many scriptures that lets you know that you should be giving and serving. And if you believe in Jesus, he came to give and to serve and to sacrifice. And you tell me how many of us as Christians are giving and serving and sacrificing so that we can help others. Mm. Mm. Coach, you want to jump in?
Yeah, from my experience, you talking about giving and serving. I come across folks who just deal primarily with the people in their church, the people they're accustomed, you know what I mean? That's from socializing to sharing, giving, whatever you want to call it. That's who they deal with.
Mm-hmm.
You on the outside, not a member, you're looked upon as that, an outsider. So you talk about interpretation. So some folks probably tell, hey man, the word said to share, and they could be interpreted as share with their fellow brethren. You know, I know some folks do outreach, you know, nationally overseas, you know, but if that was done by the majority, a lot of the social ills we could, you know, almost eradicate, really, you know. So from that degree, like I said, when you start talking about that, that's what I think about, you know. I mean, then again, as you said, formality, right? Now, if those people don't hold themselves accountable, who will? I mean, if they're doing in their mind what they're supposed to be doing, as far as what the leader, be it the bishop, the preacher, whatever, you know, they have in the house says, and they're following that, then, you know, in their mind, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So to some degree, to me, like I said, and I always said, it falls in the congregation as well as the leader. A leader is not going to change their direction. I'm going to just say it like it is when it affects their financial plate. They're not going to do it. That's up for the people to evolve, wise up, and realize that's bigger than that congregation, that church. You know what I mean? That side of town, you know. It's us on a global scale, man. But we got factions here, there, and everywhere. That's why we are where we are. You know what I mean? So,
I remember back a while ago from what you just stated, and when you said that the different groups are saying that, you know what I'm saying, if I do anything, I do it within my group.
yeah, yeah.
And back a while ago, I was sharing with you that how religion has separated us as a people. And I was telling you that it won't be no time soon, especially in our lifetime. And I still stick to this. It won't be no time soon, even in our lifetime, for us as a people to unite and come together because of how we look at religion and how we view it and how we are separated. I can't help you because you are not Pentecostal, Baptist, or Methodist. You're not part of my belief, so I can't help you. And I remember Malcolm X as he begins to wising up to certain things and began to speak on us coming together as a people. And he said that we need to come together in this room, but leave your religion outside the door. Do you remember that speech? It was a speech that
Yeah,
lasted.
I remember. Yeah, I remember in that context. Yeah.
Yeah. He said, yeah, absolutely. And so if we're gonna get, and that's why I started off, and I hope the family remember when I said, if
Yeah.
we're gonna come together for the betterment as a people, then we have to set the religion aside. If it's the religion that's hindering us from coming together, I can't look at you as my brother and I see that you need help. And then all of a sudden I say, but well, because of my religion, I can't help you. And you're going to tell me that that's a God that you are following, that he won't let you help humanity when you see humanity is hurting? You got to check that. And from what I wanted to talk with you initially, and we're going to get into that next week, it's going to kind of piggy within that realm, how we are literally mentally destroyed within religion and slavery. It can mess us up, man. We messed up. And so 2.6 billion Christianity, 2 billion Islam. Can you imagine if that group, 4.6 billion, will begin to do what thus Allah or what thus the Lord would have them to do, instead of just doing what the person in front of them is telling them to do? Even Paul in the Bible, great stories in the Bible, told Timothy that you have to study to show yourself approved. So you just can't sit down, and here's the problem, and you just be a dummy for someone and don't take heed to study yourself. It's in the Bible. You have to study yourself to show yourself approved. So you just gonna listen to anybody and just do what anybody tell you to do?
So some folk will feel it's easier that way.
It's
You
definitely,
know.
it definitely is. And that's why, once again, going back a while ago when I shared it with you, and you were like, well, I hope that for this group.
Yeah, I remember, and I gotta concur with you, man, because as we hit certain topics, you get certain responses, and I do my own little reading, just like, man, he's right. He's right, man. You know, like I always say, man, I know we better than this, but
Absolutely.
for something to set that light bulb off in our mind to help us to evolve, man, and be better, that comes from within. That's we can only give but so much as far as information and the spark of interest, the spark of thought, man. But the rest is up to the people, man. And if the
Absolutely.
people like, just dormant, then
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely. So I just want to share that. And then I got to go right here. Even if you don't go to church, even if you don't go to church, then I ask you, what is your moral compass to helping someone? Even if you don't, because people who are going to church not helping. So even if so that lets you know that just being part of a religion is not where it comes from. Even if you don't go to church, what is within you? What is your moral compass? What is it gonna take for you to do something to help your fellow man? Because I'm gonna tell you, if you are not spiritually connected, here's the thing, here's the key that we're missing, because they can push religion on us so much and we're not spiritually connected. They are different. I did a video on that. Unless you are spiritually connected to that which dwells within you, that immaterial part of you, you're not going to do anything to help anyone but yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
whether you're part of the religion or whether you're not in the church. So you have there is something inside of you that has to have some type of concern or some type of compassion. And we don't have it. We haven't tapped into it. The religious people haven't tapped into it, and the people that's not going to church haven't tapped into it. And our purpose, if we're going to come together as a people for the betterment, we have to tap into that immaterial part of ourselves, our spirit, to give and to serve, to help humanity. Because, how could I put it to you? The people that are going to church is not doing what they would call God's will. They're not doing it. They're not doing it. And one of the biggest reasons, and it's one of the biggest reasons that we're in as a people, the condition that we're in today, because we're not giving and we're not serving to help each other. I have an organization where I work with children, and a lot of people know that I have this organization where I'm working with children and feeding them and with them day in and day out. Do you think that people are giving to help with our children? It's sad. They know what I'm doing. Even the city that I'm in, everybody know, they know, but no one is giving and serving to help me with these children. That's sad. That's sad. And I just want people to think about that just for a second. Even when I post the children and things on Facebook, and I always, hey, when the last time you gave to the youth, or when you did this, or when you did that, support the youth. Not one person. Not one person. So you can't tell me as a people, we're going to do anything soon to come together. I'm showing you, these are facts. We're not going to do anything soon because we don't have the same purpose. Everybody got their own purpose, and that's okay. But if we're going to come together for the betterment of our people, we're going to have to get on the same team and begin to give and serve. And one of our problems, people say, well, do you get grants? Do you get this and that? Listen, grants are not easy to get, first of all. Then you have to wait on a grant. Our mindset as a people, and this what religion has done to a lot of us, it always keeps us waiting on someone else or something to come and help us when it's something that we can come together to do ourselves. Think about that.
Let me just ask this question, man.
Put
I
it in
ain't
there.
trying to be funny or anything, man. For real, for real. By and large, man, do you think the majority of our people would like to come together?
Nah, I don't. No, no,
Yeah,
no, no,
yeah.
no, no. I don't.
'Cause I feel the same way too.
Yeah, yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see it. Like I say, it's a lot of psychological damage, and it all starts from here. There's a lot of psychological damage that haven't been worked out with a lot of us. And I don't see, and that's why when you and I even started, before you and I even started, and I saw it a long time ago, and I came on YouTube to start that, we not as a people to come, nah. And we can do it. We can do anything.
Yeah, yeah,
We've done
yeah,
it.
yeah, I know that.
Yeah, we can do it, but
But
we won't do
yeah,
it.
I wouldn't have I would have really felt like I always use the word hope, but as time progressed, man, and I really started really paying attention to what is grabbing our interest, you know, I can see now because if that was the majority of our yearning to come together. Traffic would be going in a different direction. Different topics will be pulling our interest, and they're not. They're not. It's just the low level, stuff. That's really, man. Okay.
It really
So
doesn't
yeah, yeah,
matter,
yeah, yeah,
because we are caught up in the material part of life, and we have more interest, we have more concern, and we have more compassion, we have more wants and desires from the material things of life. And we don't have that concern and compassion and want to connect to that immaterial part of life. And we are a very selfish people, because it's a me, my, until something hit home. Now you reaching
yeah,
out, right,
yeah,
until something hit home. But
yeah.
we are, yeah. But like I say, the biggest problem is this right here, coach. There's a lot of psychological damage in the Black community that haven't been healed. And it won't be healed no time soon, because a lot of us don't see that we need to be healed from something. We don't see it. I'm here. I'm giving you facts. I'm letting you know I'm letting everybody know what's going on. People are like, well, damn, what's going on? What's happening? I'm telling you what's happening. There's a lot of psychological damage done to the Black community where, like I said earlier, and I say it all the time, where abnormal has become normal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you don't
And
see,
now
yeah,
you got the male and the female at each other's throat, back and forth. So that's not surprising. That's not surprising. With the warp mindset, who you gonna attack? You know what I mean?
absolutely.
The first person you can attack somebody look just like you. We see it in the other aspects when it comes to violence. So that's not surprising.
And those
So
numbers
yeah,
out there, and we put those videos out there. And
yeah.
so
So,
once you put two people together with psychological issues, what you think gonna happen? Like you said,
yeah,
we're gonna be at each other's neck because we
yeah.
got some issues. And that's why it's so hard. Especially, I was listening to the radio today when I was doing the yard work, and the guy was on the radio saying, song came on, and he was like, he was still looking for that loved one. I'm like, man, I feel sorry for I feel sorry for you, boy. Boy, I feel sorry
Yeah,
for
yeah,
you.
yeah. The,
Do you,
the the mindset, that's,
man?
I know it's not for everyone, but the evidence, man, of the war mindset is all over the place. It's like, wait a minute, man. You know, it's gonna bear fruit somewhere. You know what I mean? So,
And so what happens is when those two ill or sickness or whatever issues that those two mindsets are having, and they're having offsprings, and then they're bringing that mindset into those offspring. So for many, many years,
man,
it just keep coming. It just keep coming up, keep coming up. So until we understand that if things are going to get better for us as a people, we have to come together with the same purpose, just like a team. Other ethnic groups, they come together as a team when it's time to get something done. If you study them, they'll come together.
true, true. Yeah, we
And
got
they,
examples of that all around
okay,
us.
okay.
We
And
got examples of that all around us, man.
so as a people, we got to learn how to give and serve to each other, because mankind is significant to the universe. And I talked about that in another video. And it's like the sun, the oxygen, water, air, all these different things that's essential that we need. And we are that to each other. We are essential to each other. We need each other to survive. And the reason you see that we are dying the way we're dying, because we're not playing the role that we need to play to help our fellow man. The sun, one of us is the sun. We're not giving. And when the sun doesn't give, existence it ceases. When the air stops existing, it ceases. When oxygen stops,
Yeah.
when these things that are essential, when they cease, life comes to an end. And so, what you're seeing, family, is that us as a people, we are just as essential to each other. And we're not giving or serving because everything I just named, the sun, the air, the oxygen, the rain, all of that gives and serve so humanity can survive. And as a people, we are not giving and we are not serving, and we are just as essential to each other. And that's why you see so much destruction. It's real simple to me because my third eye is open and I can see it. And until we come together and each one of us begin to play our position, play our part, give and serve to help our fellow man, until we come together and learn how to connect to that immaterial part of us and come together and work on the same accord, Coach, I can guarantee you, we will never come together for the betterment of us as a people. It'll never happen until we understand that we got to come on the same team. We got to work together and we got to have that concern and that compassion for our fellow man. I'm done with that, Coach. You got anything you want to share?
I'm listening, got so many different thoughts, man. So many different thoughts. Like I said, man, if you don't hear something, read something, go through some, uh turbulence or something to make you pique your interest, to make you think, on a larger scale than you're doing now, then there's nothing anyone can do, man. It starts with you, you know. And I can't put my finger on any one thing that could make us, in as a collective, think the way we ought to, you know. In this day and age, man, you can't say it's crack. That's gone.
Ain't that so?
Yeah, it did a devastation, whatever. We know better is gone. But
That's so.
man, like I say, information is right at our fingertips, man. You know,
That's so.
those who want to evolve are going to evolve, you know. But it seems like more people are just going for that on the surface nonsense. You know what I mean?
That's so.
You know, no one is trying to, well, more people are not trying to get deeper.
Mm.
Their personal life as well as life on the grand scale of things, man. Never seen like I said, you look at the traffic is for the nonsense, man. The traffic is not for, the substance,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I always believe you should be careful of what you look at, what you take in mentally, what you
Absolutely.
read and what you're listening to. And as time progresses, we see certain things just, you call it dumbing down, you talk, ABCs, it's like, that's all we deserve now. We deserve better, man. So it started with us, man. The man or the woman in the mirror, hey, man, if you want to change, start with you. So it's on you for real, for real. We can only do what we're doing. That's it. We can't make you think a certain way. So
I'm with you, Coach. I'm gonna leave it right there, and I just share with the family right here to take you at least 3 days out the week, and start getting you some cardio, some type of walking or bike riding or walk through the neighborhood. It's some beautiful evenings. Start physically taking care of yourself, working on changing your diet, changing what you're eating. And decision making is everything, and you got to make that decision to begin to take care of yourself. And then the connection is you got to tap into that immaterial part of you, because there's your discipline and your self-control, and that's what's going to help you make that change. And that's why if you don't have that foundation, I can guarantee you, and I can stand on it boldly, if you don't have that combination where you learning how to connect the mind, the body, and soul together, you will not live the most fulfilling life. You won't do it. You won't be able to do it. So I'm just working to give that foundation to let everyone know, as a people, that's what we miss. We miss a foundation, and anything without a base will fall. And that's what you see us doing. We're falling physically, mentally, and spiritually. We're falling because we didn't have that instilled base in us at a very young age that enhanced the name of the organization, that taking care of yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually, it should just be second nature. And I am second nature. And that's why I work so hard in these three areas. And I say, you know what? A lot of adults, I can lost them. So I work for children. So that's why it's second nature. I'm for children. And so coaching myself, we come out and just put this information out. Now it's up to the adults. If you take heed to it, that's on you, but I'm not forcing anything to you. I just want that when something happened to you in one of these areas, that you're not able to say, damn, I didn't know. Now,
Mm.
you had two young men that you ran into, came on and shared information. And you know,
Man.
you know. So, coach, I'm gonna leave that right there. And until we come together again,
Mm.
so for that topic that we was gonna talk about, I share it back again. But I'm looking to do that next Sunday. But this came to mind for this week
Okay.
from the conversation. So I just had to, that this is our purpose as a people. Like I say, everybody got their own little purpose, because it just aim or something that you're shooting for. So that's on you. But like I said, if we're going to come together as a people for the betterment, our purpose is to give and serve, to help humanity. And until we come back together, coach, I holler.
All right, man. Peace out, man.
Take care, doctor.